the beginning of the story, we see a boy named Arian whose family wants him to get married. Actually, Arian was the only son of his parents. Hence, his mother wanted Arian to get married soon, but Arian could not get married. While sleeping, Arian has a dream that he is married to a robot, and seeing this, he gets terrified. Arian's family lives in Delhi, whereas Arian lives in Mumbai because of his work. Arian comes to his office, and we learn he is a robotic engineer at a robotics agency. Today, Arian had a meeting with his boss, Urmila. Actually, Urmila is Arian's boss and his aunt. Urmila tells him she is working on a new project, so she wants Arian to come to America to learn about her project. After hearing this, Arian is pleased and immediately goes to America because his family probably would have forced him to marry someone if he had stayed here. When Arian goes to his aunt's office, he is shocked to see all the robots there. Arian's aunt tells him she wants him to work with her on the upcoming projects, but she has to leave for a few days for a business meeting. She tells Arian that her manager, Cifra, will take care of him, so Arian should relax for 2 to 3 days, after which they will start their work. Arian agrees and goes to Aunt's house, where Arian is welcomed by a girl named Cifra, Urmila's manager. Nowadays, Cifra is taking excellent care of Arian, and he is satisfied. Cifra even knows what kind of coffee he liked. Arian is pleased with Cifra, so he tells her that he is going for a walk today and wants Cifra to come with him now. Cifra also agrees, after which Arian takes her and goes out on the bike. Arian rides a speedy bike, and Cifra also enjoys that ride. Arian is very fond of seeing this because even after riding such a fast bike, Cifra is not scared. Cifra tells him that she can never be afraid. She starts flirting with Arian, while Arian also starts liking Cifra. They both kiss each other and get intimate. Cifra tells Arian that her battery is low, so she must return to her room. Still, Arian thinks Cifra is joking, so he starts romancing her again. The next morning, Arian wakes up and prepares breakfast for Cifra, when suddenly his aunt Urmila arrives. Seeing Urmila, Arian is shocked because Urmila was supposed to return during the evening. Upon entering the house, Urmila asks about Cifra. Arian tells her that Cifra has a fever and is sleeping. After hearing this, Urmila gets a little doubtful, and she sees Cifra for herself. When she checks Cifra's room, Cifra is not there, so she goes to Arian's room and finds Cifra lying on his bed. Arian starts explaining to his aunt that they both started liking each other. This is why all this happened between them, and it is pretty normal for two young people. Arian also tries to wake Cifra up, but seeing that Cifra is not waking up, he starts panicking. He rushes to call the doctor, but his aunt stops him, pointing out that Cifra's battery is down, so she must be charged. Only then will she wake up. After hearing this, Arian is shocked because he does not know that the girl he fell in love with is not a human but a robot. Arian understands that his Mansi had deliberately called him here. She wanted to test her robot and used Arian as a guinea pig. Now Arian gets very angry with his Mansi. So his Mansi explains to him that she just wanted to see if there is any flaw in her robot. Hearing everything, Arian understands why Cifra took so much care of him. It was all programmed inside her. What she felt was not emotions, but just lines of code. Arian could not understand why Cifra kissed him. His Mansi said that Cifra is capable of reading and distinguishing facial expressions. She understands what the other person wants. When she saw that Arian liked her, Cifra kissed him. After hearing all this, Arian cannot understand what to do next because he has fallen in love with Cifra, even though she is a robot. After learning that Cifra is a robot and has no feelings for Arian, he returns home. Arian's Mansi explains that they must conduct many more tests. She wants Arian to help her, but Arian's feelings for Cifra are getting in the way. Despite knowing she is a robot, he cannot forget Cifra, so he thinks it would not be right for him to stay there, after which Arian returns to Mumbai. He tells his friend Montu about how he fell in love with Cifra. His friend Montu was also surprised to hear that Arian had fallen in love with a robot. Arian's mother calls him and tells him she has found a girl for him. Arian also agrees to the marriage and goes to his home in Delhi, where Arian's engagement is fixed. Still, on the engagement day, Arian cannot forget Cifra, so he decides to run away. While Arian is running away, his grandfather sees him. Arian tells him that he has fallen in love with someone and cannot have this engagement. After hearing this, his grandfather helps him escape, after which Arian runs away from there and comes to Mumbai. He calls his aunt and tells her that if she wants to launch Cifra in India, all future tests must be conducted there. Only then will they know whether Cifra can be launched in India. His aunt, although hesitant at first, also greatly likes this idea, and she sends Cifra to India. When Arian sees Cifra, He can't help but feel immense joy. Arian introduces Cifra to his friend Montu, and Montu also cannot believe that Cifra is a robot. This is probably because Cifra could also eat food like normal people. She has a storage area inside her where all the meals eaten are stored. Arian was pleased to see Cifra and made her talk on a video call with his family. Arian's mother was thrilled because Arian had finally liked a girl. Actually, Arian was planning to marry Cifra, so he prepares Cifra well, teaches her about the Indian norms and culture, and brings her to meet his family members. Arian had already explained to Cifra how she had to behave, how she had to take shagan, and how she had to touch the feet of the older family members. Still, Cifra made small mistakes every time. For example, while touching feet, she also touched children's feet. Thankfully, Arian handles everything. After meeting Cifra in person, Arian's family also likes Cifra. When they ask Arian about her family, Arian tells him that Cifra is an orphan. After hearing this, Arian's family decides that both of them should get married soon, after which the preparations for the engagement party start. Arian's mother calls his Mansi and tells her that Arian will get married to Cifra. After hearing this, Arian's Mansi is completely taken aback, because unlike Arian's family, she knows that Cifra is actually a robot. She explains to Arian that he should not go through with the wedding, but Arian insists he loves Cifra and wants her to stay with him. After hearing this, his aunt repeatedly reminds him that Cifra is just a robot. Still, Arian does not listen to her and starts preparing for the marriage. They finalize their wedding date, and Arian proposes to Cifra. She asks him if a robot and a human can ever get married. Arian replies with a tacky comment, adding that it may not have happened before, but it will happen now. Upon hearing this, Cifra agrees to marry him. When Cifra gets ready on the day of the engagement party, Arian's aunt sees Cifra and becomes very happy. She tells Cifra how she feels Cifra's beauty will cause a ruckus all over Delhi. Fast forward, the engagement event proceeds smoothly. The entire family is pleased to see Arian get married to Cifra. After all, this is what they had all been waiting for this moment for so long. After the event, when it's time to pay the caterer, Arian asks Cifra to transfer the amount to the caterers. When Dadaji says he would do everything himself, Arian asks Cifra to cancel the payment. After the after party, Arian and everyone drink together. Amidst all the drinking, Arian excuses himself while intoxicated and goes to Cifra's room. While under the influence, initiates with Cifra. Cifra tells him she had an update. Arian, due to the influence of alcohol, does not pay much attention to what she is saying and asks her to download the update. However, when Cifra downloads the software, her memory gets corrupted. She then forgets Arian. Seeing this, Arian cannot understand why this happened. Panicking, he calls his aunt and tells her about the situation. His aunt tells him that Cifra must have downloaded some kind of corrupt software, which caused her to lose her memory. Now, after hearing this, Arian cannot figure out what to do next. His Mansi explains to him that she would give him a backup memory, but it will take 4 hours. Till then, Arian is required to take care of Cifra. Unfortunately, Cifras can no longer recognize Arian and his family. Still, for 4 hours, Arian somehow manages to handle her. When Cifra's memory returns, she starts recognizing Arian again. Now, seeing this, Arian finally feels more relaxed. Before leaving the room, he tells Cifra that she should complete her charging. While Cifra is charging, a boy from the neighborhood enters and sees Cifra is alone inside the room through the window. After taking a closer look, he sees a wire connected to Cifra's wrist, so asks her about the wire. Cifra honestly tells him that she's charging herself because her battery is low. Upon hearing this, he immediately understands that Cifra is a robot. This revelation intrigues the boy, causing him to develop a liking for Cifra. Suddenly, he starts moving closer to kiss her. Cifra also understands that he wants to kiss her, so she prepares to reciprocate. But then, Arian witnesses the scene and starts assaulting the boy. Arian furiously chases the boy. He asks Cifra to catch the boy and to hang him from a building. Cifra also begins chasing the boy and holds him suspended in the air. Arian threatens the boy, saying that if he ever tries to do something like this with Cifra again, or to tell anyone that Cifra is a robot, he will have her drop him from a building. The boy repeatedly apologizes to her and promises not to tell anyone anything about it. Then the boy leaves. Arian is upset with Cifra regarding this matter. Cifra sees Arian's expressions, and she understands that he is angry, so she consoles him by hugging him. After which, the tension between them settles down, and the celebration continues. Everyone is enjoying and having a good time. During the Sangeet, Arian's aunt wants Cifra to dance to Dihak Dihak, but Arian's mother asks her not to dance to that song. The event is going smoothly when suddenly Arian's grandfather's health worsens, so Arian tells Cifra to drive to the nearest hospital. Still, when he gets to their destination, he finds out they went to an animal hospital instead. Arian realizes he had given incomplete commands to Cifra, which explains the error. Arian then asks Cifra to change seats with him so he can drive instead. The scene shifts to inside a hospital where the doctor tells Arian that his grandfather's blood pressure is low, which is why he had fainted. The doctor reassures him that his grandpa will be fine in a day or two. When Arian meets his grandfather, the old man looks at him and smiles. He insists that Arian should prepare for the wedding, and that by the time the preparations are done, he will feel much better. After hearing this, Arian prepares for the wedding, while his grandfather recovers and eventually returns. After seeing his grandfather returning, Montu rushes to Cifra to tell her the good news. However, Cifra, upon hearing this, seems unfazed, as if this news meant nothing to her. After seeing her reaction, he goes to Arian to tell him his concerns. He tells Arian that Cifra lacks emotion, and this might create problems for them in the future. Upon hearing Montu, Arian makes Cifra understand that she should care for his grandfather. After all, he is the eldest in the entire family. Now, the wedding day is coming, and Cifra is getting ready. After getting ready, she starts charging herself for the big event. However, due to a power outage, Cifra's motherboard becomes damaged. She suddenly starts behaving weirdly, almost as if she is possessed by someone else. Her voice becomes deeper, and her speech becomes slurred. Arian's sister, who sees all of this, becomes very scared and runs away from Cifra's room. Meanwhile, in another room, Arian's Mansi had just arrived. She came to the wedding to stop Arian from marrying Cifra. Even after trying to convince Arian for a long time, he is still adamant. His aunt, although hesitant, finally expresses approval. Upon hearing her, Arian is filled with joy. Unfortunately, his happiness is cut short when his sister and Montu run towards him to tell him that Cifra is missing. The Mansi, upon hearing this, tells them all to relax. She reveals that Cifra has an inbuilt GPS tracker that can be used to find her location. However, when Armilla tries to track her, they find out the GPS was turned off. This might have been due to her motherboard being damaged. They all split up in hopes of trying to find Cifra. On the other hand, we see Cifra at the police station. Once in the past, Arian told Cifra to go and register a complaint against him for eating her tomato, which he obviously meant sarcastically. Apparently, due to her damaged motherboard, she is now completing all the previous tasks that people had asked her for, but cancelled. When a police officer listens to Cifra, he assumes she is insane, so he writes her complaint and asks her to leave. Just after leaving the police station, Arian gets a message that 4 lakh rupees have been deducted from his account and sent to the caterers. Now, seeing all this, Arian finally understands that Cifra is completing her incomplete tasks. While thinking about this, everyone sees Cifra returning to the wedding venue. She starts dancing to D-Hack D-Hack because Arian's aunt had asked her to dance to this song during another function. After completing her dance, she rushes over to the neighbor's house, where she sees the same boy who knew that Cifra was a robot. She goes after the boy because some time ago, Arian had asked her to throw that boy down from the top of the building. Hence, she considers this to be an incomplete task as well. Cifra chases after the boy and follows him to the top of the building. Arian tries to stop her by standing in front of her, but she just hits him and pushes him away. Eventually, she catches the boy, holds him suspended in the air, and then drops him from the top of the building. But that boy's life is saved because, luckily, there was a sofa below that broke his fall. After dropping the boy, she returns downstairs, picks up a torch, and lights it on fire. Upon seeing this, Arian realizes that the last task she has to complete is the task his aunt gave her, setting Delhi on fire. As soon as she remembered this, Cifra starts setting fire everywhere because she had to set fire in Delhi today. Seeing that Delhi is about to be set on fire, Arian understands how dangerous Cifra has become and tries to turn Cifra off, but nothing happens. After that, Arian approaches with a sword and attacks Cifra. Due to this, Cifra's skin comes off, and everyone finds out that Cifra is a robot. He looks at Cifra one more time, and then he realizes that it is impossible for a human to marry a robot. He takes a deep breath and strikes Cifra on her head one more time, causing her to fall and shut down. Fast forward after 6 months, we see Armilla introducing her robots and telling everyone how these robots can greatly benefit them. Cifra is also among these robots. Turns out she had fixed Cifra and also deleted all her memories. Arian, who is also present in the same exhibition, sees Cifra. But now he has gotten over her and come to terms with the fact that what she felt was not love. but a few lines of code and programming. While listening to the seminar, a girl approaches him. While talking to her, Arian realizes that they have a lot in common. He seems interested in her and agrees to go on a coffee date with her. After the girl leaves, Montu approaches Arian and tells him that while he was talking to that girl, Cifra was observing him, as if she was jealous. Arian looks at Cifra in shock, and she stares back at him.